Hey, it is me, your favorite nobody. It's very difficult to talk about this, and it'll probably come to you as a shock, as a surprise, but I am fat. I have been for a very long time. In fact, the bulk of my 37 years on this earth, with some brief intermissions when I'd lose a bunch of weight and then yo-yo back up and beyond. I have many excuses. It's mental. It's the fact that I grew up in a household where we didn't care about dieting and exercise in general. The fact that I enjoy laying down, sitting down, playing video games, reading, watching something more so than actually pushing myself physically. I think I'm currently on a right track of sorts. I have been consistently going to the gym since March of this year. 6 days a week, mind you, average five, mostly six. I've been clocking in about 5,000 steps a day and doing some other exercise. So I have a standing desk, so that helps a little bit, especially during work. But I'm still nowhere where I'd like to be. As of the time of recording this, I am about 178 to about 180 centimeters tall, depending on how my spine and my back feels, which are killing me right now, which is probably 5'10", 5'11" in feet. Uh, and I weigh 109.5 kilograms this morning, which is 200 and, I don't know, 20, 30, again, funny pounds. I'll have all of the metrics somewhat in the video, so just see whatever works for you. At this height, this weight is a bit much. It's difficult to breathe. It's difficult to walk. It's not really muscle, so it doesn't look imposing. I'm rotund, and you'll see that in my first ever photos of my body. Even I can't look at them. It just makes me so upset. But this is 37 years of hurting myself, of just kind of existing, at least in thought, outside of my body. And I've been trying to embody it for the last few years, and it's been a struggle. It's been a royal struggle, and we have to do something about it. So this journey that I'm on, I started in March. On YouTube starts today, officially. Yay! Mainly to keep myself accountable and to journal about it all. I envision that by late May of 2025, when I'll be 38 and some, I should get to about 90 kilograms, or maybe even a bit less, or 180 pounds, 200 pounds, thereabouts. I need it. I need that, I think. And we have to work on it. I do also need to improve my overall mobility, which right now is absolutely terrible due to various aches and pains that are keeping me awake at night. And I just want to feel a little bit better. We can do it. I am mainly inspired and learning from people like Mike Israetel, the man behind Renaissance Periodization. I think a lot of his videos are useful in understanding the basics, but also understanding the psychology of bodybuilding and working out and what it means and how to feel about certain things. I appreciate it greatly. I think he's an intellectually honest person. Nobody's perfect, but I know he's trying to be a decent person. Another personality that's kind of intriguing is Brian Johnson. Yes, generic name could be anybody, but it's the man behind Blueprint and the Don't Die movement. Regardless of what you think about him, if you've ever even seen or heard anything from him, I think he's in a similar position as most of us, in that he's trying to be intellectually honest. He's trying to improve himself, in late 40s pretty much. And a lot of the advice he gives and a lot of the examples he shows are very good, about sleeping habits, about eating habits, being mindful of radiation, being mindful of pollutants, being mindful of the fact that we are comprised of systems, and each system requires its own individual treatments and ways of looking after, as opposed to a more holistic approach to things. And also, I do share in some of his thinking that a personal assistant, a Jarvis, an ANI, artificial narrow intelligence coaching, is probably needed. Something to just keep us in line and help us offload some of the cognitive strain of having to think about diet and exercise and movement and drinking water and sleeping well and so on and so on and so forth. So there's other people I look up to, but again, the internet is a fantastic place, filled with great information, and as time advances, we will see more interesting stuff around dieting, exercising, and so on and so forth. Now, I will not be taking any weight loss drugs. I have access, but I am worried about developing bad habits. Most people who are on these things without a specific diet created for them wing it, and I'm frightened of that. I'm deathly scared of that, because it's taken me a long time to address my own dieting problems. So for the time being, I'm not taking anything for weight loss. Maybe next year, depending on how I am come January. Another thing, I don't do steroids at all. I used to inject testosterone, which is, in its synthetic form in large quantities, can be a steroid. But I used to take it for a testosterone treatment, and I was getting the baseline. I was getting the bare minimum. I cycled off completely in March of this year, and I haven't looked back since. I don't know what my levels are right now, but mentally, I feel okay. I may be returning to testosterone sometime in the future, maybe in my early 40s, early to mid 40s or something. Thing is, once you get the feeling for that, it might really help you in some ways, and then you can't look back. Luckily, I was able to cycle off, and for now, I'm doing well, I think. I will be using a smart scale to track my weight. Not because a smart scale is something you can trust 100%, but because these suckers are cheap, very easy to get, and every time you step on them, they keep a note of how much you weigh. And then you can see graphs of your progress or your lack thereof. I find that super useful and convenient, as opposed to writing things down. I'll be using a smartwatch and a smartphone to track my steps. I'm not going to be running anywhere. I walk. In fact, if you see me running on the street, please just run with me, because I'm running away from something horrifying, probably. So you want to do that. I will be using an app called FatSecret, which I'm actually using right now, a free account. It helps me track calorie intake, macros, proteins, carbs, fats. I will be using an audio app called Tidal to listen to music, and I think that's something creators don't always talk about, but to me it's a big thing. I hate music in the gyms. More often than not, I go to a gym and I just hate what's coming out of the speakers, and it's usually loud, deafening. And I feel like a gym should be like a library. It's a temple. You go there to better yourself. You don't go there to go deaf, because somebody's blasting some nonsense. So you just mask that up with your own nonsense. Headphones on, volume all the way up, and do whatever you need to do. Friendly tip. When you're done with exercising, turn the volume down. Save your hearing. It doesn't matter how well you develop in every other area. If you go deaf, it's pointless. And you can hurt your hearing with prolonged exposure to loud noise. I'll also be using a walking pad. I have like a mini treadmill at home and a screen attached on the wall next to it, so I can watch a show and get some steps in. I'm yet to use it today, but I've already clocked about 5,000 steps, and because of my sit-stand desk, I can stand up for a better part of the day, mostly because my back hurts, so it's just not much I can do about it. I'm taking creatine, vitamin D4, because UK doesn't know what sun is. We just don't see the sun here. And I need to drink more water. Yeah, I do. I do indeed. In the next episodes, I'll be sharing how I feel, what my progress is like, what my weight is like. I'll be showing more photos of myself. And again, I do apologize in advance for the sight. I can't stand it. I can't. It's unsightly to me. But I'm working on it. And if anything changes, again, in terms of what I'm taking, what I'm not taking, what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, all of that jazz, I'll be sharing with you. I have nothing for now, nothing else, really. It's time to go and do the work. And if you have any questions, leave something in the comments. I'm not the most knowledgeable guy out there, but yeah. Thanks for your time. Take care.